Hello, I'm Professor Valerie Bronstein, and I want to briefly introduce you to our English 7 class for spring semester. The two things I want to go over are the assignment schedule and the grading contract. So let's begin with the assignment schedule. To find it, scroll down to the bottom of the Canvas page and click on Assignment Schedule. If you are in my in-person English 7 class that meets at 8 a.m. in the morning, your class schedule will look like this. On the left side, you will see what we will be doing in class. On the right side, you will see your homework assignments. Notice that homework is always due at 8 a.m. before class. If you are in my online class, your schedule will look a little bit different. On the left-hand side, it tells you the week. For example, the first week is January 12th through the 18th. And I list the due dates as Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. It's always due at 11:59, the end of the day. There are 4 types of assignments: video and lecture notes, readings, online discussions, which I call blogs, and writing. So to read the schedule, you would see, for example, on Monday, you would have a video and lecture notes called Class Orientation. There's no reading due. There's an introduction, online discussion, a blog, and there's no writing. For the Wednesday, there's a video called Daniel Levitin. There's a reading in the book, Weaponized Lies, pages Roman numeral 12 through Roman numeral 22. And there's a blog where you post your ideas. There's no writing. So looking at the first week, there are no writing assignments. You can complete the assignments anytime as long as you have them completed by 11:59 p.m. While looking at the schedule, I'd like to point out that an online class is not the same as a self-paced class. An online class has specific deadlines, and with the exception of the reading assignments, you are unable to move ahead to future assignments. Videos and lecture notes are available 48 hours prior to the due date. So when you are looking at the modules on Canvas and you open up to go to assignments, frequently you will notice that the information is incomplete. It has not been posted on Canvas until 48 hours prior to the deadline. Now that you know how to locate the assignment schedule, let's move on to the grading contract, since everybody wants to know, how may I earn an A in this class? The grading contract is part of the syllabus. So you would click on syllabus, scroll to the bottom to where it says grading contract. A grading contract may be a new system that you're unfamiliar with. The most important idea is that the default grade for the class is a B. Basically, if you do all that's asked of you in the manner it's asked, you will earn a B in the class. If you violate the terms of the contract, your grade can be lowered. And if you go above and beyond the contract, you can earn an A. In other words, you will not be receiving points for assignments. You will not be receiving percentages for assignments. You're not going to get an A on an essay or a 90% on an essay. Instead, you're going to get opportunities to revise your essays. You'll get descriptions. For example, your essay will be described as either excellent or meeting expectations. And I will give you lots and lots of comments on your essays on how to improve them. The reason I use a grading contract instead of the traditional points and percentages is because we know that grades are not used in most learning situations outside of school. We also have learned that grades, A, B, C's, are unreliable predictors of success, and they're also very subjective. Have you ever wondered why you received 82% on an assignment and your classmate received 83%? That's often because grades are subjective. We also have learned that grades decrease intrinsic motivation for learning. Students become obsessed with, how many points is this worth? Instead of working on assignments to develop better writing skills, reading skills, and critical thinking. Also, Grades lead students to think more about pleasing the teacher. What does the teacher want me to write in the essay? And that reduces your quality of thinking. Also, sometimes with traditional grades, students prefer the easiest task. They'll look at assignments and say, okay, I want to do the easiest task that will get me 100 points, instead of the more challenging task that might be worth fewer points. This class has no points, so all tasks are equally valuable. Also, traditional grades create sometimes this sense of fear of failure, which leads students to be unwilling to take risks. I encourage you to take risks in this class. And traditional grades undermine feedback. For these reasons, I use the grading contract in this class, and more specifically, this is a labor-based contract. That means your grade depends on the amount of work you complete, and that work meeting the minimum standards. What do I mean by minimum standards? There is a list in the grading contract that explains what they are, and I will give you lots and lots of feedback on your writing so you need to meet the minimum standards. Now, many of you, and I encourage all of you, to want to earn an A. An A in college takes a great deal of work. So in order to earn an A in this class, you must go above and beyond the bare minimum, which earns you a B. You'll be asked to attend one of the SMART shops. Those are located on campus, and I can have some online alternatives for you. You'll be asked to write an annotated bibliography prior to your research paper. At the end of the course, you'll be asked to write a 500 to 750 word reflection on how you've grown as a writer and a detailed revision plan for each of your essay. But there are contract violations. So if you look on this list below, you will see if you are absent more than 4 times, grade can drop. If you turn in writing assignments late, your grade can drop. If you do not revise your essays, your grade will drop. If your final exam doesn't meet this minimum standards or you do not complete a portfolio, once again, your grade can drop. In this type of contract, you can't just miss work and turn it all in at the end of the semester. If you have late assignments, you need to complete them as soon as possible. There is also the plea. I understand that extenuating circumstances can prevent you sometimes from handing in your work on time. Therefore, you can use a plea for any reason once a semester. If you find that you have an extenuating circumstance, email me as soon as possible so I can make arrangements for you. Okay, it's not an out clause. You don't get to skip an assignment. It just means I will work with you on the deadline. If you had a slow start of the semester and your grade drops to a C, a D, or an F, that doesn't mean it's impossible to get back to a B. It just means that in your portfolio, you need to go above and beyond the requirements by thoroughly revising and polishing your essays. So with a grading contract, if you put in the work, you will earn a B. And if you go above and beyond, you will earn an A. I will give you more clarification of this as the semester goes on. So this is just a brief overview of the course for this semester. Please feel free to reach out to me, either emailing me or messaging me through Canvas, because I'm here to help you throughout this journey we have together. Thank you.